Claire came into our session feeling very lost. I don't feel like I'm on the right path, she said. I need an anchor. As we spoke, we uncovered a deeply ingrained pattern. Claire was evaluating her choices based on how other people responded to them. So if she did something or said something and someone else was happy about it, she would conclude, I said or did the right thing. Good for me. If someone was not happy with how she did or said something, she would conclude, I must have done the wrong thing. And this deeply ingrained attitude meant that her life was now filled with relationships where she felt responsible for other people's well-being and emotions. She described a very recent experience where she went to go and see a friend for lunch, not because she wanted to, but because she felt obligated to. I need to reclaim my life, she said. One core concept that really helped Claire was you get what you tolerate. So if you imagine your life as a physical space, there's a limited amount of space in there. And so as things come into your life that don't particularly fulfill you, but you allow them to stay, eventually you'll find that your life is filled with the things that you're willing to tolerate. Because Claire was willing to tolerate relationships and things in her life which didn't fulfill her, didn't lift her up, her life was understandably unfulfilling. So it begged an interesting question of why was she doing this? What Claire relayed was that she was aiming for in life, trying to control how other people felt about her and how other people felt around her. That was her primary mission. Claire said to me, I don't consider myself a people pleaser because I'm not actively seeking ways that I can add value into people's lives. But what I'm realizing in this moment, she said, is that being driven by a fear of disappointing people and at my own expense doing things that I think people want me to do is a form of people pleasing. And Claire was doing this because she felt that if she declined her friend's invitation to lunch, that could have led her friend to have been disappointed or upset. And because Claire's declining of the invitation led into her friend being disappointed or upset, she drew the conclusion that she had caused that upset. So the fact that she felt responsible for someone else's feelings, combined with her mission in life being to make other people happy, she was constantly, in small and big ways, going out of alignment with herself. And she was tolerating lots in her life which didn't fulfill her. And at that point, it made really good sense to her why she was feeling lost, misaligned, and unfulfilled. If Claire held on to these concepts that, one, she was responsible for other people's well-being, and two, it was her job in relationships to make other people happy, she was going to continue to get the same result. If you're resonating with this, then there are a couple of blind spots that I want to draw your attention to. One, you're responsible for fulfilling your needs and values, and you're responsible for protecting them through boundaries. And other people are responsible for fulfilling their needs and values and by protecting them through boundaries. So if someone else claims that they need you to be a certain way or do certain things in order for them to be happy, they are not taking responsibility for fulfilling their own needs. They can communicate their needs to you, they can set boundaries with you if needed, but they cannot tell you that you need to be a certain way or do certain things in order for them to be okay. People will try to do this sometimes, but it doesn't mean that you are actually responsible for their well-being. The second blind spot is it's not our job in relationships to make the other person happy or to try to control other people's thoughts, perspectives, emotional state, or responses to us. What healthy, secure relationships are formed out of is us being aware of our needs and values, acting accordingly, and allowing other people to respond how they may. And the people that align with us, and the people that don't. And that's absolutely fine. No one's done anything right or wrong. It's just a misalignment when that occurs. So for example, if I was speaking to someone and they held up their hand and they said, Rach, I feel disrespected by what you're saying, I would check in with myself and wonder, did I feel respectful towards what they were saying? And if the answer is yes, then I would conclude that how interesting. The way that I give respect and the way that the other person receives respect are misaligned. So what Claire came to understand is her life would be a lot easier, more fulfilling, peaceful, and she would gain that sense of alignment if she could get very clear on her needs and values, how she wanted to show up for herself and others, lead with that intent which she has control over, and allowing other people to respond how they may. Now, at this point, you might be wondering things like, yes, but if I stop caring about how other people feel, then won't I become cold and selfish and end up alone? Or isn't it a good thing to care about how other people feel? But here's the thing, detachment in this way doesn't mean that you stop caring. There is a big difference between caring about other people and taking responsibility for other people. Right now, you might feel like if you let go of other people's approval or you stop trying to control how they perceive you or how they respond to you, then you'll lose control or you'll end up disconnected. But in reality, it's being emotionally attached to outcomes and people's responses to us that leads us to feel less in control of our lives, not more. Imagine instead navigating life and relationships with calm, confidence, and self-assurance, and being able to say no without feeling guilty or responsible for someone else's well-being. Not having to obsessively think about how others are perceiving you, and trusting yourself to make choices in alignment with your values and allowing others' responses to be what they choose to be. Can you see how this would lead to a feeling of alignment within yourself, and also how it would align your life accordingly? If this is resonating with you, then here's something that you can experiment with instead. You can check in with yourself as much as you like and ask yourself the question, as you're doing things or saying things, what's my intention behind doing or saying this? Am I trying to control how the other person is feeling or how the other person is going to perceive me? Or am I doing or saying this because it aligns with my values? Living in alignment with ourselves and bringing fulfillment into our lives means releasing control of other people's responses to us, other people's emotional state, and releasing responsibility of other people's well-being. I've created a video series, which at the moment of recording this is currently available for free, which shows you exactly how to do this. If this is of interest to you, then in there you'll learn what attaching to outcomes and other people's responses means, and the very valid reasons why you likely do this, even though it creates fear and guilt and obsessive thinking. You'll learn how to detach from outcomes and attach to yourself. Practically speaking, what are your needs and values? How do you fulfill them for yourself? How do you protect them through boundaries? How does being attached to yourself create fulfilling relationships? You will have seen people do this and have this. At the moment, it's available for free. So if you're interested, go to the description and check it out, and I'll see you over there. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.